Hello everyone, this is Lata Akula. In our previous class, we have studied about different characters exhibited by the fungi. Now we'll see the reproduction shown by the fungi. Fungal reproduction. Fungi that mainly exhibits three kinds of reproductions. They are sexual. First one is vegetative reproduction. Second one is asexual. And third one is sexual mode of reproductions. If we see the vegetative reproduction, this vegetative reproduction is mainly of three kinds. They are vegetative reproduction is three types. They are, first one is fragmentation. Fragmentation is nothing but, for example, this is the mycelium. If this is the mycelium, by accidentally, if any part of the mycelium is broken, that broken parts will develop into new fungi. That is called as fragmentation. And second one is fission. In fission, the vegetative cells split into two daughter cells, that is fission, and third one is budding. Budding is a kind of asexual vegetative reproduction shown by yeast. In this, from the outer surface of the shape of the yeast is like oval shaped structures, and from this matured yeast cell, on the surface of the yeast, a bulged outgrowth will be grown, and after some time, this bulged part will separated from the mother cell and leads its individual life. That is called as budding. That kind of reproduction is shown by yeast. And second kind of reproduction is asexual. Asexual mode of reproduction. In this asexual mode of reproduction, it is mainly shown by spores. Asexual mode of reproduction is by spores. These spores, they develop by mitosis. Hence, they are also called as mitospores. So, how the spores develop? In asexual reproduction, they are by means of mitotic division. The spores will be developed. Hence, the spores developed by this mitosis are called as mitospores. And if you see, these spores are minute structures, unicellular structures. They will be dispersed. They may be dispersed by air, water, or insects or anything. There are so many agents for the dispersal of these spores. And after dispersal, they will fall on some suitable substratum and starts germinating and develops into mycelium on the substratum. Like this, in asexual reproduction, spores will be germinate into mycelium. There are different types of spores are present. The first one is sporangiospores. The first one is zoospores. Actually, first one is not sporangiospore. First we will study about zoospore and later we will discuss about sporangiospores. The first one is zoospores. These zoospores are produced mainly in aquatic fungi. The aquatic fungi, they mainly produce these zoospores. In this, for in these aquatic fungi, the spores, they contain flagella for the locomotion. Flagella are present for the locomotion. These flagella may be one or two. If one flagella is present, they are called as uniflagellate. If there are two flagella are present, they are called as biflagellated. Like this, they may be present in one flagella, or they contain two flagella are present in them. These zoospores are produced in aquatic fungi. Examples for these zoospores producing organisms are Syncytium. There are some examples like Syncytium, Pythium, etc. These organisms, the zoospores are produced. And another one is second type of sexual reproduction is by means of sporangiospores. These sporangiospores, they are produced inside the structure called as sporangium. In some fungi like Rhizopus, they occur mainly in Rhizopus and Mucor. In these organisms, these sporangiospores are present. Here what happens is, this is a hypha. These are horizontal hypha. They are called as stolons, and these vertical hypha are called as rhizoids. From this horizontal hypha, that is stolons, an erect structure will be a strand, a tube-like structure will be grown, which is called as sporangiophore. On the top of this sporangiophore, a bulged structure grows, which is called as sporangium. Inside the sporangium, sporangiophores develop. Sporangiospores will be developed inside the sporangium, hence they are called as sporangiospores. These are produced inside the sporangium, hence they are called as, they are endogenously produced. Endo means inside, endogenously produced means they are produced inside the sporangium. These sporangiospores, they may be, when sporangium is broken, the spores will be released. They may be dispersed by air, and the released spores, they may germinate. They can germinate into mycelium on suitable substratum. Like this kind of sporangiophores are developed during favorable conditions. When it will occur? During favorable conditions. So Rhizopus and Mucor, they form these kind of sporangiospores. And next one is chlamydospores. Here the examples for these chlamydospores are Rhizopus. So these chlamydospores are produced, these sporangiospores are produced during favorable conditions, whereas chlamydospores are produced during unfavorable conditions. During unfavorable conditions, the Rhizopus, they produce chlamydospores. We see the structure of the chlamydospores. during unfavorable conditions, the hyphal structures, they form a round, thick-walled structures which are called as chlamydospores. These chlamydospores, they may be produced terminally, they are called as terminal spores, and they may be intercalary. Intercalary chlamydospores, they may be produced terminally or they may be produced in intercalary. So these chlamydospores are produced during unfavorable conditions by the rhizopus, and when these spores are separated from the hyphae, they will germinate and develops into mycelia. This chlamydospores not only for the reproduction but also for the perennation. It is for to tolerate unfavorable conditions. These are the chlamydospores. Next one are conidiospores. These conidiospores are mainly seen in Aspergillus, and Penicillium. So in these organisms, the conidiophores are produced. Here, these conidiophores, they are exogenously produced. These sporangiosphores are endogenously produced, whereas the conidiospores are exogenously produced. That means produced outside the body. They are not enclosed in any sac-like structures. They are exogenously produced, and these are, if you see the structure of the conidiophore, conidiospores, not conidiophores, like this. So here the conidiospores are produced exogenously in the form of chains. The chains of conidiophores are produced here. This tube-like structure is called as conidiophore. This is called rami. These are medullae. And these bottle-shaped structures are called as sterigmata. Above these sterigmata, there are chains of conidia are developed. So these conidia are grown on this, they are developed on this exogenously. Hence, these conidiophores are exogenous spores. So if these conidia are separated from this fungal body, they get dispersed by air or any other agents and they fall on suitable substratum. They get germinated and finally develops into the new mycelium. Like this, the conidiospores will grow. And the last one is oidea. The last one is oidea. Some fungi, they develop these oidea during sugar-rich conditions. When the food consists of excess amount of sugar, in that condition, some of the fungi, they produce oidea structures. Like this, these oidea are developed which will act as the spores, and they germinate and produce mycelium. Like this, there are different types of asexual spores are present. Once again, I'll explain. So, fungi mainly reproduce by means of three modes of reproduction: vegetative, asexual and sexual mode of reproduction. The first one is vegetative reproduction. In this, the first step is the fragmentation. What happens if any part of the mycelium or hyphae, if they are broken accidentally, the broken part will develop into the new mycelium. That kind of reproduction is called fragmentation. And second method is by fission. In this fission, the vegetative cells split into two daughter cells. That kind of reproduction is called as fission. And the budding is shown by yeast cells. These are oval-shaped structures. The matured yeast cells, they develop some bulge or bud-like structures on their surface. Later, if those buds have properly grown, they separated from the mother cell and develop into individual yeast. They are called, those are called as budding yeast. And second mode of reproduction is asexual mode. Here in this asexual mode, the fungi mainly reproduce by producing spores. The spores are the single uninucleated small structures. They developed by means of mitosis, hence they are called as mitospores. These spores, they dispersed by air, water, insects, and they get germinated and finally develop mycelium. From this, new fungi develops. Here there are different types of spores, asexual spores. Like first one is the zoospores. Zoospores are mainly developed by aquatic fungi, and the aquatic fungi like Syncytium, Pythium, they produce this kind of zoospores, and these zoospores, they show motility by means of flagella. Depending upon the number of flagella, they may be uniflagellated or biflagellated. Single flagella is present, they are called uniflagellated forms. If there are two flagella are present, they are called as biflagellated forms. Like this, these zoospores will be developed, they locomote by means of flagella, and they germinate and produce some mycelia. And second one is the sporangiospores. These sporangiospores, they are produced endogenously inside the sporangium. Examples are Rhizopus and Euchar. Here this sporangium is developed at the end of the sporangiophore, and inside the sporangium these spores are developing, hence they are endogenously produced spores, and they are developed inside the sporangium, hence the name sporangiospores. When the sporangium breaks, the spores will be dispersed into the air. These spores, they get germinated when they get suitable substratum, and then the mycelium will spread on the substratum. Like this, the sporangiospores, they develop. And third one is the chlamydospores. And one more thing, these sporangiospores are produced during favorable conditions, whereas the chlamydophores are developed during unfavorable conditions by the Rhizopus. Here, in Rhizopus, during unfavorable conditions, there may be some bulged, thick-walled structures are formed on the hyphae. These are called as chlamydospores. They may be produced terminally or intercalarially. So if they are produced terminal, they are called terminal chlamydospores. If they are produced within the intercalary, they are called as intercalary chlamydospores. They get separated from the mother and they develop into new mycelium. Or sometimes they may also useful for the perenniation process during unfavorable conditions. The fourth one is the conidiospores. They are produced by Aspergillus and Penicillium. These are exogenously produced because a chain of conidia are produced exogenously on the conidiophores. Hence, they are exogenously developed spores. These spores also, they get separated from the mother cell, mother fungi, and they dispersed by means of any agent, and they get germinated into mycelium. Oidea are developed by some fungi during sugar-rich if there is a sugar rich condition in the culture medium in the laboratory, this idea will be developed, which will be produce these bud-like structures. This is called idea. With this we have completed sexual reproduction.